What's up, baby dolls? I'm going to give you a very special, yummy, juicy PulseChain update. You know, with Ethereum's price still hovering around $1,800 and Bitcoin hitting and shooting up, you know, $95, $96, $97,000. It seems like the month of March, which we've been waiting for. Remember, it's selling Ma, go away. Well, seems to be buying Ma, go away. Because we seem to have rinsed everybody out so far. Now, as you've seen already, right, Richard Horrit, friends, said he's going to release a video today. Hopefully, it's already out. I'm sure we'll be covering and stuff out here. So, just interesting. As soon as a post like this comes out, everyone reacting. Ah! So, it's kind of cool. Everyone going wild. Just to, like, basically know that the cycle's going to continue and it's pretty much not all over, which is lovely. Now, what's going on for PulseChain? Well, PulseChain, friends, PLS. The spear still stuck in the wedge in the channel. Sorry. Yeah, it is pretty much, you know, more than 72% below sack price. Tiny bit of a move. Basically, when Richard started saying, hey, we might actually like do something now. The last time he made a message, right, it was a Christmas audio message. Mentioned it was bulletproof twice. It's repeated talking points. It's like, you know, PulseChain, PulseX, DEXs are the future, immutable, censorship resistant. It's pretty much true to his ethos and everything out here. As well, friends, with Pulse, PLS, the spear, the real chart, as I've always shown you, is the Pulse to ETH ratio. Okay, so you can go to the WETH Pulse ratio, and then you click on the button here to get the ratio. Okay, there you go. So that's actually the real chart. Now, a lot of people will say, and they're true, right? Oh, measure against Bitcoin, which is true. You should do that. The thing, though, is I feel like Ethereum's cuckery is like fair game for everyone. It's like such a freak accident. It hurt everybody. Nobody could have seen that coming. It's kind of like you just, you know, you go outside and you're like, oh, there's literally not a cloud in the sky at all. And then you're like, oh, so you're going to go to the park. Yeah, play soccer with your kid. You just go, literally, you can't see any sky. It's literally so blue. Oh my gosh, it's so blue. You go to the park, and within 30 minutes, just these clouds zip on right on top of you to start thunderstorming. You're like, man, no one saw that coming. You know, and then you check on the news, and they're like, wow, a freak accident. This has never happened more than once every 120 years, where storms appear this fast and start raining on you. You know, that's what I feel like as pretty much we've gone through. Remember as well, from the Pulse ETH sacrifice ratio, so this is like basically your day one price, we are still about 70%, 69% below. So Pulse has to rally about a 3.3x from here without Ethereum moving, and then you're back to break even. Okay, so it's pretty much it'll just back to break even from 4 years ago. So that's why we pray that, you know, there's some friendship and kindness which zips us through. It's probably going to be some G to get out of break even again. Remember, for some reason, this was like the break even price was like where everyone was like, it was resistance. So maybe it comes in as a break even again. Everyone thinks it's over, and then beep, beep, beep. Break even again, and hopefully do something like that. That'd be beautiful. But it could be just hope and cope talking. Could be that. Also, friends, PulseX is a very nice curly curl chart. Big fat booty, hopefully pointing to the sky. Remember, friends, PulseX is almost like a secret weapon. Just to tell you, I made videos about this 2 years ago, because PulseX has a buy and burn. PulseX, remember, is real utility. Okay? We have basic economic activity, the baseline, yes, from PulseX. Because people are trading. It's actually economic activity, swapping back and forth. You know, Pulse and HEX and meme coins and everything else out here. So that swapping, you get a fee. It literally buys and burns PulseX. It literally goes and buys it. Okay? So it's not inflation handout. As well, PulseX has 7.08% total supply gone. Now, remember, it's user supply. It doesn't count the origin address. But you just assume that's never going to dump. So yeah, PulseX is very, very, very strong. It's going to take a while, though, for everything to move up together. And if you want to see, obviously, how PulseX's real underlying performance, you can look at the PulseX to the Pulse ratio. Okay, so you click up the top here. This is nice. This hockey stick up here. This is, like, friends, okay, I know. Oh, where's the evidence? Shut up. This is not natural, bro. I know who did this. You know who did this? Wears a top hat. Lived on top of a sandwich shop, okay? I was here every day. None of you were interested in my PulseX videos the whole time. No one. Was anybody new coming in for PulseX? No. And I was just yelling about it the whole time. No one cared. That's how you know ratios are just being moved. By the way, to move this ratio up, that means they're dumping, they, him, they, she, him. They're dumping Pulse. So for everybody who says, oh, do you think a PulseChain pioneer would dump a coin that they like? Yes. You just watched it right now. We also see that with the hex pulse ratio, right? That's how the ratio goes up. Hopefully we all just go up in our USD price. But remember, parity is up here. And remember, I did say PulseX is a secret weapon. It really is true because it has real utility. Okay, remember, Hex's utility has to come from exogenous demand of people want to lock stuff up and believe in the ecosystem. PulseChain is just people for gas who want to use it. But yeah, PulseX is literally the buy and burn. Okay, it's literally base economic activity, which is crazy. Beautiful to see. Hex and incentive token. So Hex, friends, remember, Hex also bonded with PLS, Pulse. Remember, there's PHEX, there's eHEX. Had a lot of drama out in the forefront now. So that actually in the background, this is Hex. Hex doing a 100x from today, right, would bring it to 58 cents. Okay, that's 100x from today. 55 cents is the all-time high. Everybody wants to sell at 10 cents. So maybe that is just an area of interest that we need to go through and just rinse everybody out and everyone thinks it's over before we can continue. Okay, don't quote me on that one. I hope it really isn't the stopping point for good. Incentive token is here. It's $1.30. Incentive token, friends, the inflation has been cut down, remember, but also this is the incentive token pulse ratio. It's literally doing nothing. It's gone sideways against pulse. However, I like this little curl up. It's this little higher low thing. It would be nice if incentive token comes up here. What's incentive token going to do? We don't know. I'll tell you, it's got a very, very, very green logo. The greenest logo in crypto. Big competitive advantage. Greenest logo in crypto. In its code, though, it might be used to vote on something. You know, you could speculate on what it means. Is Richard Hart going to release a privacy wallet? Privacy updates? I made cool update videos here for you on that. Or it's got something to do with a PDAI speculation. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know if we'll ever have anything to do with these. But yeah, the inflation's been cut down. I guess we'll see what goes on from here. Now, as far as anything else concerns themselves, yeah, everything is pretty much leverage on PLS itself. And yes, you know, Hex, everything else moving on top of it. You can actually see Hex in the pulse ratio. This is Hex PLS ratio. Yes, it's flipped red actually. It's now flipped red. Maybe it's time for Pulse to come back. But yeah, this is a tight range. There's nothing to worry about. It's like just nothing to worry about at all. Hopefully, if Hex goes up alongside Pulse, we will get more friendship and kindness in eHEX. This is the eHEX-pHEX ratio, which is surprisingly strong. It's at 0.34. Remember, everybody wanted to kill me here. And it's actually outperforming pHEX. If this thing goes back up here, it has now officially recovered the day Richard started fighting it. Okay, so it's about from 0.35, it's got to go up to 0.5. All right. Is it going to get to parity one day? I don't know. It would be a nice wet dream, isn't it? And then you have all the leverage, the standard leverage stuff. You have like Icosa as well, doing like the longest rounded bottom in freaking human existence out here. But you really want to see what's going on. Look at the Icosa hex ratio, still sideways, sideways, sideways. But these things stay dead until the big daddies start moving. You know, Hex is down 99% from the top. So pretty much as far as the speed goes, when the speed's down that much, you know, it's kind of like if crypto, how would crypto look if Bitcoin goes down to $900, 99% lower? See what I mean? It'd be a very, very poopy time. Something interesting also to note, this is the eHEX to pulse ratio. If you come and look at it, you'll see it's still grinding up, doing this volatile, grindy up action. Pretty funny. Just to see this going more volatile. It's almost like it's going up and then BankX gets out, BankX is out. BankX, I think, are down to around 150 million eHEX or so. Remember, they used to have 880 million. So the supply has been dwindled a lot. So they are cool to watch these. The ratios, they're all right. They're nice to see. Just get to see things of value. But yeah, ultimately, we care about the USD ratio, don't we? Speaking of ratios and all these other crazy stuff as well, PDAI, conspiracy coin, still doing the rounded thing out here. If you do 65 days from when the capitulation started, it's 22nd of Marway. So that leaves like 16 days. Are we going to get a return back here? I don't know. To recover it. That normally it took up to 65 days in 3 out of 3 times. I don't know if it's going to happen again. As well, friends, so there's been some teddy bear dumping, which happened recently, which I'll cover for you now. So teddy bear dumped like, 20% in a day. But what I've actually done is I've given you the teddy bear to PDAI ratio. And look at this. It's literally just come back to where it was before this big spike. That big spike, friends, was PDAI getting forcefully dumped. So, and the money moved into ATROPA. So, like, this is just, I don't know how it's all going to work out. But, like, see this ratio just comes back down. I guess I was right. because I've been telling everyone, like, look, man, like, I know there's opinions and stuff out here, but just, I've been in markets for a long time, okay? I know where a market wants to trade. I know what it looks like when a market wants to trade around certain values. Like, I'll use, for example, the ATROPA-pDAI ratio, which I'll do right now. And when you take it out of that range, I know what follow-through is meant to look like. This is not follow-through. So this is ATROPA-pDAI ratio. See how before the range bands put on a weekly chart? Yeah. Do you see how it was trading this zone around, like, 5, value of 5? Well, if you come back down on a daily chart, as soon as it starts going, it was like so high. So that's what we might find over time. This thing like slowly comes back down. Now, you never know with these, right? It might have like another blitz up here before it comes back down. But I just generally believe at some point, right, it wants to go home. At some point, I don't know when, I don't know how long. Remember, this thing took a while as well. If you actually check it out, ATROPA-pDAI, look at this. It comes up, it just like sinks down and then zips up. So you never know, it might do something like that. Don't know. But yeah, just pretty much hinting. ATROPA ratios against pDAI, they're all cheap. So those two things, how do they converge? Well, because since it's a spread, either ATROPA just dumps 80% by itself right now, just literally dumps 70%, that's it. Or pDAI rallies like 3 or 4 times harder than ATROPA, So maybe ATROPA does a 3x, pDAI does 12 from here. That's another way to get that up. You don't know which one's going to play. That's why you look at the ratio, right? You just know, the ratio's up or down. There's less things you have to guess, right, compared to the others. So like, for example, you can believe you're outright long pDAI, which we are, but that's how you can tell the ratios are strong, right? But pDAI, if you're long it, so ATROPA can just dump, which means you are acting strong, or you rally harder than ATROPA, right? But what did you make USD value money in? Only in one of those scenarios, because you hope that pDAI just runs up, yeah. So that's why it gives you an idea, but you can't put on spreads and futures and stuff out here. But it's kind of like shows you what's cheap. That's all. Now, also speaking of pDAI and ATROPA and everything out here, friends. So Maria, the ATROPA dev, James Osborne, he speaks in a lot of code, really like, symbols, metaphors. It like triggers a lot of people because prices are dumped. But he speaks in a lot of code. He doesn't write like, I am doing this. It's always like really mythical code, and people spend a lot of time trying to decipher stuff. But he made a playlist on YouTube. And the first thing is David Miscavige at the helm of Scientology. I think he's a Scientologist. I don't know. I think it's there, but you don't know what does he mean. Why is it? Is it hey, welcome to Scientology, or is it like deeper meaning within the video? You don't know. Something interesting. The next video, we found the maker behind TikTok. See this? We found the maker. So like, oh, we found the maker. So I don't know. Is the video playlists? Okay. Look at this. How MakerDAO works. Another video on it. Another video. How an American entrepreneur. What is entrepreneurship? Okay, so that's why we're just thinking something to do that. But then he has me. Binance CZ talks incredible insight in crypto. He also has Lana Del Rey Summertime Sadness. So we don't know if it's just referencing summertime or you're going to be sad in summertime. But you never know how these things work, friends. Like, he could be talking about the haters who are sidelined are going to be sad because it's moved up, hopefully 10x by then, 20x, right? Which would be from 0.8 cents up to 1.6 cents for pDAI. I actually just show you what happens if it moves up. Because we need some sort of crack dopamine addiction fill in here. Where would a 20x, a 10x take it? Yeah, 0.8 cents. A 20x would be, 1.6 cents, whatever. You know what I mean? So we don't know what he's actually meaning by these. But in my video of the CZ video, so I've got some comments here. In my video, CZ speaks about going to jail, which might be relevant to the process of pDAI and the orchestration secrets. Because remember, like the Nikolai, rest in peace, Nikolai, founder of DAI, is dead. They killed him. You know what I mean? And you're touching stable coins is very, very dangerous with governments because they want USD-backed stable coins. We already know, friends, that they're not going to like crypto-backed stable coins. No way, US government, because they can't control it. Yeah. CZ also says DEXs are the future. So that could be, referring to PulseChain DEX being the oracle for the future P stablecoin system. I don't know. CZ in the video also said real world assets is the future, which includes stablecoin adoption in crypto, hence refers to P stablecoins, so take it with a grain of salt. But you know what I mean? Everyone's getting skits. In other references, references MakerDAO, how MakerDAO works, Lana Del Rey song, Summertime Sadness. Yeah. Which means, it's US summer. So June, July, August, those 3 months coming. We'll see. But my final conclusion, I am getting sick and tired of this pathetic and rubbish crypto cycle. It's gone on for far too long and it's still robbing everyone. Yeah, it's just robbing into them mentally and everything out here. So that's my general thoughts on everything. Also, shout out to CZ, hard talk. He does talk about his jail things. Yeah, they did get him to spread his butt cheeks multiple times. So there you go, friends. Of course, we all want, we just, a win, friends. A win for Pulse, PLS is a win for everyone. If the more these things right, everything's bonded to it. Yeah, if that gets listed on the exchanges, it's big because most of the liquidity is bonded with PulseX. So if everyone wants to trade Pulse out there in the world, the inventory bots have to go to the PulseX Pulse pair, which is more trading, which is more buy and burn. Once again, the mechanism helps each other, So how are you feeling about everything? Dog shit? Same as me. Nothing else we can do right now except keep on believing. Like, subscribe, belly button on. Catch you in the next one.